Hey guys, Edgar here and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a beautiful and fantastic day like always. In this video, we're going to be talking about pretty much emotional intelligence or EIQ and how it can impact your career and how it can boost your career in 2020. And without further ado, I'm going to be talking about why is there a focus on EIQ, how is it important, how it plays, and how you guys can practice your social and emotional intelligence skills and bolster your career. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So now we're going to be jumping into the next topic, which is, so how am I going to improve my emotional intelligence skills? Like, how am I going to work on my EIQ? I'm going to give you guys about 4 different topics, 4 different tips on how to do so. And I'm going to break down each one, kind of an introduction, and giving you guys the information that you guys might need in order to be successful. So for number 1, we're going to be talking about self-reflection. So self-reflection is pretty easy. Basically, you're going to be asking your questions like, what triggers me? What gives me anxiety? What would I consider my strengths and weaknesses? And if you notice, all these seem like interview questions, like personal, like personality questions that they ask you during interviews. And there's a reason why hiring managers do this. They want to see how your personality kind of fits, and if you're really good at, working with different confrontations and stuff like that, how would you act in a very uncomfortable setting or confusing setting? And the reason why they want to do this is because they want to see if you're effective at showing your emotion and controlling your emotion depending on the situation. And then how you fit in the mold, how you fit in the team. And the hiring manager wants to see if you can be assertive and truthful in your answering, then how you can fit and makes the team more successful and efficient. Intermission time, guys. Make sure to comment down below if you guys feel that EIQ is important or not to incorporate in your careers. I'm on the bandwagon that I think it's very important to do so, because you want to be a personable person. You're going to be working with people, so you got to know how to communicate with them. But comment down below, do you guys feel in your careers, in your stage in your career, is EIQ important to you, or is it important for your team's success and stuff like that? Leave a comment down below. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Okay, so now tip number 2 is basically create a lessons learned list. So for managers, the whole reason why they're there in a company is for your guys' growth, is for the company growth, is to drive the company to success. They are the fundamental pieces that are going to be the decision makers on the direction of the company for the future. So for sure, if you guys have a lessons learned plan every single year, this is something that I do in my company, and every single company that I've been at, actually. I always have a lessons learned. What I've learned this year, or this time period, every quarter revenue, you want to do it that way. Basically, what I've learned, what I experienced was a shortcoming, so something that I may identify as a weakness, or something that I'm still working on that I know is a strength, but I'm just taking a different direction for my success. Basically, just be aware of your performance, and this makes the job for the hiring manager to reflect on their team way easier. Is much easier to express, like a hiring manager to express to their employee where they're lacking, what they should grow on, if you acknowledge it yourself. And then that way you can have like a really healthy conversation saying like, I know what I need to work on, and at the same time what I know I've excelled on. So different projects can be given in order to strengthen certain skills, or to make skills, weaknesses competent and stuff like that. Basically, it just gives you the idea that you're aware, and that for the hiring manager, they'll make them happy because you know exactly because you're reviewing yourself, you're self-critical, and that just makes it easier for you to negotiate, for example, like salaries and stuff like that, or compensations or raises, because you know your stance and you know where you need to go. So that just creates more leadership in that sense to the hiring manager, and that makes you more emotionally aware. Tip number 3 is practice your social awareness skills. This is interesting because there's many ways you can do this. The most effective way that I found is asking questions, or when during meetings, or when you're interacting with coworkers, or talking to someone who is professional. Ask questions in the most appropriate times, questions that you feel are important to you and maybe for the team. So maybe there's like an obvious question, like they're giving a presentation about I don't know what, and then they're missing, like the presenter's missing the main idea. So for you can ask the most obvious, like what you're talking about, the most obvious question, which is what you're talking about, what's the whole point of this. Or you can wait and say, maybe they're using acronyms that the whole room is like they know about it, but you don't know because you're new. So maybe you're asking a question, maybe you feel a little bit self-conscious and kind of be like, oh, I don't feel like super comfortable talking about this or asking this question. So then you can ask that question and say, if you're confident enough, say, hey, I don't understand what this acronym is. And maybe the person can be like, oh, it just means this. And then for you, you don't look stupid, you don't look dumb. You actually look more confident because you know exactly, or at least for the hiring manager, which is the most important guy or girl for you, basically it's, you know what you're lacking, you know what to work for, especially if you write it down, like the acronym, you can, do your research, or if they give you the answer, you can still research about it if you don't know about that topic. One of the things I will say about growing your social or practicing your social awareness is, and this might be a little bit awkward, but reenact different scenarios. Think about different scenarios. You can Google on Google basically different scenarios that you think you might be encountering, and for sure you can assume that these scenario questions are going to be asked during interviews. So in my example, or for me as an example, I've always been asked, hey, whenever there's a tight deadline for a certain project, how do you deal with like the stress, or how do you deal with working with people who are not pulling their weight when it comes to a project? And my answer is, well, when it comes to stress, I'm really good at managing my stress. I'm really good at dissecting what steps I need to do and to accomplish a certain goal. I rarely lead any of my projects to the end. I'm always working, kind of piecing my day together. And if there's days where there's just absolute fires that happen and they're just out of the blue, I have to focus on those. I think anyone can understand that my project can be pushed a little bit, or the limitations when it comes to timing. And when it comes to people who maybe not necessarily are super engaging, then I can talk to them and say what they need help with, and maybe I can get another team member to help that person with specific, part of that project or part of their duties, or myself, and kind of like trade different duties in order for them to be successful, in order to play to their strengths, at the same time to get the whole project done. And as a lessons learned, I know how to work with that person. Maybe they have like a limited capacity when it comes to their time and stuff, and work to their strengths. So maybe they don't have a strong presence in the company because they're always like super busy during meetings and stuff, but they have a really strong, email game. Different scenarios, and I would just use those and practice those and just react to those. React differently as well, so you can see a rainbow of your personality and your reactions, and then you know how to tackle each one accordingly. And number 4, and this is kind of like an extra one, but pretty much just employ what I call a surprise coffee talk or talk method. This is really interesting, and this is something that I just recently kind of tried to do. In my previous company, it was easier for me to talk to my coworkers because I saw them every single day, every single like minute of my day. So, and during lunch, like they would hang out with me, and when I would hang out with them, we would go to lunch or just have lunch at the company and just talk about anything. And then there's a lot of like social events that happen every single month, like birthday events, or carne asada, and they have like different like themes and barbecues and stuff like that. And then you just like go and interact with people. So it was really cool to mingle and understand and coexist and understand people's backgrounds and perspectives and whatnot, and have that, teamwork. In this company, it's a little bit more difficult than that because people are super busy. And at the same time, like you have your own customers that you're worried with, you have your own like projects, you have your own like success in your mind, that you don't really work in teams per se. But I noticed that my boss has been employing more teamwork activities. So he always like pairs 2 engineers together and be like, hey, solve this issue, or this and this, solve this issue, playing to their strengths. And I kind of taken that idea into a very simple coffee conversation type of thing. So whenever I have lunch, or whenever before a meeting or after a meeting, I always ask my, whoever is around me, like, hey, how are you doing? How was your weekend? I just like walking by, just like, how you doing? Or just simple questions. And during lunch, or during little pockets that I notice that there's pockets of time, 10 to 15 minutes to talk about like how your weekend was, what type of music they like, or anything. Because I noticed that if doing that, you create like cohesiveness with teamwork and your coworkers, and you're building a very good network when it comes to, asking questions and working as a team in the sense to get like projects done. At the same time, you know who to rely on when it comes to strengths. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video here, there, or anywhere, make sure to leave a like, a big fat like. And at the same time, why not share with a friend? Share with someone who you think needs a little bit more self-reflection or is working in their self-reflection, and you can be like, hey, there's a quick video here that can teach you a little bit of what EIQ is, emotional intelligence is, and how to grow it, how to foment it and incorporate in your career. Hopefully this information helps you guys in in your careers, in your whatever stage you are in your career. You're graduating from college, you're getting your first job, or you're transitioning between careers, or you just want to get more skills so you can get better positions in the future. So if you guys will comment down below other topics that you guys want me to cover, this is one of those videos where it's not a professional development video necessarily, it's more of a personal development video. So like I said, this channel is all about professional and personal development, so I'm giving you guys a lot of content when it comes to that. So comment down below what you guys want me the next topic to be and what you guys want me to cover. And yeah, if you guys would like to subscribe, make sure to do so. I upload every single week. So thank you so much for watching this video, and have a nice day. Peace. See ya.